What is that? Let's kick it off there. What is that like for you? Obviously, watching someone who's been such a massive star for the EFC go on and carry on flying that flag.
It's yeah. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome when any of our athletes go and compete at the UFC. But to put on shows like that and a fight like that, and just have, and to also, it's just been really great seeing all the support leading up to this fight. Like, you pop onto social media and everything was just all about Dricus this whole last week, you know, giving him, wishing him well, telling him that they're behind him. I think it's just awesome. I think that from all the other athletes who are getting behind him through to all the fans, I think it's just fantastic to see. So, and then he puts on a show like that and it really makes everyone really proud and happy. And yeah, like it was, yeah, epic, fantastic.
Is it like obviously being at the head of the big MMA promotion here in Africa, is that almost like, in a way, looking back, that it's made everything worthwhile for you to say, this is what we created, and we've created this pathway for someone like Dricus to go on and just not only achieve his dreams, but also like really put a stamp and really put South Africa in a positive light, in a much needed positive light?
Yeah, it definitely makes, we all work hard, you included, everyone in the MMA industry, the officials, everyone really put a lot in South Africa and Africa in general. And compared to what people are getting out in the States, or doing the same stuff in the States or Europe, we're all doing it for a lot less generally. So having someone like Dricus come through our system, so to speak, come out of South Africa, go through EFC, become our champion, and go and do well in Poland, and then get into the UFC and then do so well. It's awesome. It's really awesome. And it just creates more opportunity for more athletes coming through. It just shows more people that it is possible. It can be done. We can win. You don't have to go live in the States or Europe to train. You can do it from here. Yeah, I think it's great. Dirk was actually in Vegas now for the fight, and he was WhatsApping me beforehand and straight afterwards, and then Monet and Dricus and the guys were fighting with him afterwards, and they're sending me videos and pictures the whole night. It was awesome, and and Dirk was saying to me, he's like, "Oh, Cairo, you got to get to Vegas to watch one of Dricus's fights. We saw this kid when he was just a kid fighting with us, and now look how well he's doing. It's so awesome. We'll all be part of this journey." And everyone wants to kind of claw like our little hands into it and say, we were part of that. But in the end, Dricus did it. All we do is provide the platform, and we provide it for every EFC athlete that there is. We put it out there. We gave Dricus the same opportunity that any other athlete gets. He's the one who took it, and really utilized what we gave him and the platform that EFC has, and worked really well with us. Dricus was an awesome athlete to work with from the beginning. He was, he understands the business side of it, the bigger picture. He gets it, and he works it properly. And I think that's part of his success. Obviously, he's great from a competitor point of view, but his overall package is solid. It's really, really cool. But it was awesome to watch. It was a fun weekend.
I don't suppose we're going to see any of those photos and videos being made public that were sent from Vegas.
Deleted already.
Read and delete, my friend. Read and delete. Yeah.
Explode.
Massive shout out to Dricus. It was a great weekend. I think he really stood out in a time where everybody was looking for something positive. So it was really, really great. And anyways, let's take a look at the EFC. That's what we want to talk about. A lot of new exciting changes. One thing I wanted to ask you, you guys are obviously all pretty much based in Cape Town now. What's the dynamic like moving yourself and keeping the business running from that side as opposed to from the PI as it was before? Is there anything really different, or is it kind of still really just the same thing?
Look, I've been in Cape Town for almost 7 years now, Al. So I was just been traveling up and down. Pre-COVID, I was up and down pretty much every week, which obviously now hasn't been taking place. But even our Joburg office, most of them are working remotely anyway. So, in this time, it's life at the moment. So, it's luckily, as you know, technology like this makes this type of stuff easy and available. And we're still working out now, and it's changing obviously with the third wave and different, ups and downs, but we're working out a good schedule that's most efficient for people. We want people to have the best quality of life as well. It's not just all about work. So if it works for someone to work at home and not commute in and out of the office, awesome. If they get their stuff done, let's get their stuff done, save the time and money and spend some time with their family, great. So yeah, I've certainly got a lot of, some benefit from this COVID time has been I've spent a lot more time with my family, which has been awesome. I've got but yes, there's some dynamic that you miss with getting into the office every day, and we're trying to work out ways to counter that and do it. But it's not just EFC that's dealing with that, and it's not because specifically that we're in Cape Town. It's more actually just the total situation. But yeah, it's been cool. I think everyone's actually at the moment just so happy to be able to work again, to be frank, and to be able to host shows and get our stuff done. That we're taking this opportunity and doing as much as we can to build the best product with what we've got.
I want to ask you about the BLK deal. That's the one that got everybody buzzing. If you can just give us a little bit of insight onto how the deal works, what it's going to be like, and the most important question, which everyone wants to know, how does this affect athletes? There's a lot of concern about athletes and their sponsors. The guys come out with their sponsors all over their kit and that kind of thing. So a lot of people ask me the question. I'm like, I don't know the answer, dude. But I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out for you. So here we are. We can, when crash this one out, so everyone can stop asking me that question and get some resolution on the new BLK deal, which is massively exciting, by the way.
Yeah, it's super cool. BLK is a great brand. We've actually been trying to engage with them for many years, back and forward, and finally the timing's right. Like with so many deals and so many things in life, it's about timing and when it works for two at the same time. So the timing came together now really nicely. And they're going to be our official apparel partner, which is awesome. They make really good quality gear. They do a lot of stuff for rugby, so they haven't done MMA before, but they've done, rugby and contact sport before. And what we really like about them as well is they've got this ability to do custom, I'll use the word uniform, but kind of like uniforms for teams and stuff that they do very well. So got that deal finalized. What it means for the moment is it doesn't affect the athletes from a sponsorship point of view. There's the option that we discussed with BLK and still is looking at something we may introduce, which is putting a uniform like UFC has got with Venom and Head with Reebok, similar to what PFL's got. So that is in a discussion and in something that we could possibly get towards. What that takes, though, it obviously takes more investment. It costs money to, one, be paying the athletes, or two, just be producing the kit full stop. And looking at that, we will only ever do that if it's a positive for the athletes. We saw the massive fallout that UFC had with the Reebok deal, and Reebok was paying them $10 million a year or something. So we don't have the kind of budget that they've got to do that, and we don't want to be arguing with our athletes about stuff. We'd rather be we'll only be implementing it if it's a positive for the athletes as well. If it's a win situation for us, for BLK, and for the athletes and the fans. Otherwise, we won't be doing anything. But we are looking at introducing an athlete official range, a uniform, so to speak. We might start it off with the champs, and we'll come up with an arrangement that works for them. So, or we might start with just the whole main card, or we might start with the whole card. We're looking at that at the moment, but at the bare minimum, the deal as it stands today is there'll be a new range of EFC BLK kits coming out, from shirts to hoodies to pants to a whole range of cool apparel, caps, and everything. That stuff will be available for purchased by supporters. We're going to be giving that to our athletes as well. So when they compete, we'll say, hey, here's cap, shirt, jersey, whatever it is, jacket, or so we're going to be utilizing it to give to our athletes, which is great for the athletes, great for us, great for BLK. And yeah, we'll kind of see how it goes from there, how it evolves. But the range is looking really nice. It's got awesome quality stuff. They're coming up with really cool designs. We're working through different ideas at the moment. So the range will be available soon. And then we are hoping, if it's all working and we can get to a place that works with the athletes, where we can say, hey, okay, the champs get this kit, or the challenger and the main card gets it all. Ideally, it would be the whole roster. What the UFC have done, and with like the PFL with the uniform, I personally believe it looks better. I think it looks good for the product. So yes, the way the UFC situation with Reebok came about, it wasn't pretty, and it didn't turn out positively for them. I think the idea was right. I just think the way it ended up turning out from an execution point of view didn't work out well for them. But that's not to say that we can't do it in a different way or in a way that can work. So we're certainly going to explore that. I think it would be amazing to have all the athletes competing in EFC, BLK, branded clothing. Potentially would have also the athletes' personal sponsors built into the shirts, as an example, or into their shorts as well. So I'm saying we can include both. We don't have to have one or the other. So maybe there's other ways to do it that we'll explore. But yeah, for now, the athletes don't need to freak out about anything. As of today, nothing's changed. The guys competing in August, they could have their normal sponsorship and their normal clothing and whatever they want to have. And as time goes on, I'd love to present to them and say, hey guys, this is the opportunity we've got. Who wants to wear this kit like this? Or this is how it can work, or does this work for you or not? We're very cognizant of having the athletes with their own sponsorship and making money out of that and their own brands that they promote, which is awesome. And we want to keep that, obviously foster that and keep it growing. So no, we're not going to be cutting that off in any way, but if there's a way to enhance the product for the athletes and for us and for BLK and for everyone and make it all look better and give everyone more value, then sure, we'll definitely explore that.
Fantastic. I know with the UFC side, one of the things was obviously Reebok was paying like every fighter got kind of like a payment, but it was never really a set thing like $2,000 to $10,000. But the bigger problem came in when guys had $100,000 worth of sponsors on a fight or whatever it would be, and so they were losing out. What would it take for the EFC to be having a fully fledged uniform across the whole card, like you said? Would it be perhaps BLK to say, okay, we'll pay $2,000 or $3,000 per fighter, that kind of thing? Is that what it would take, or would you need maybe like a second outside sponsor to kind of take care of those kind of things, to kind of like just bump up the whole, and how do you gauge that? Because I mean, like, sponsors is such an individual thing, because I could say, well, Cairo, I was getting 20,000 from sponsors for my shorts, so we have to meet halfway. Yeah, like it's quite a tricky thing at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is, and I guess there's there's probably lots of options to do it, but one option is to give a uniform and to put our EFC's official branding on. So like UFC have just done that Crypto.com deal as the main shirt sponsor. Do something like that, and you're cool. Okay, Crypto.com is going to pay X amount of money, and we pay X amount to all the athletes. Like you said, some of them are going to go. Most of them are going to go. Awesome, amazing. The sponsorship market at the moment is tough. It is what it is. The athletes aren't doing what they used to. It's just in every sport, not MMA, in every sport across the board. So I think if we went to the athletes with a decent package and said, hey, just for fight week, like the UFC, this is what you got to wear, and this is the kit, and you get extra money, I think most of them will be happy. There certainly will be some who will go, no, I'm getting $100,000 from this guy, or my uncle's this, or this business, or whatever, and I know lots of people do. Lots of them are really good at leveraging relationships, and they've built their brands really well, and they are worth more because they get more. But unfortunately, you have to find a system that fits all. You can't make exceptions for 5 guys and everyone else takes that, because then otherwise they'll fight. It needs to be fair across the board. But the other option, like I was saying, which we're toying with, is saying, okay, here's your red corner, blue corner, here's your EFC kit. We're going to put your name on the back. It's going to be custom for you. It's going to be awesome. So uniform is EFC BLK, and it's got EFC's headline partner on. So it's got, say, Restonic on the arm here. But then it's going to have you guys, you as an athlete, you give us 3 of your sponsors, your main one and 2 more. We put on the shirt, put on the shorts. So then they get their own brand built into it. We will create that kit for them. We give it to them so they don't pay for it. So then they're getting, something like that. I'm hoping that then the sponsorship for them won't go down, because they're still getting their sponsor branding delivering. We're not cutting it off for them. We're cleaning up the product. We're making it more uniform, making it look more professional. We're giving, I think that might be a middle ground where then the ask from BLK is providing the kit, which is still expensive. I mean, when we have an event, it's 26 athletes, 4 cornermen each. What are we on? What's that? 100 and
Yeah,
100 people, 100 kits. I mean, it's not, it's not cheap. It's like it's money. So you already got every event. These guys are going to be potentially forking out 100 kits for the teams. So if we say to them, look, don't put money, just put the kit in. We're going to do. The athletes can still get money from their sponsorship, and everyone's kind of happy. And then the athletes save the money on not having to do their own kit and their own printing and their own story. So yeah, I think my opinion is that 90% of the athletes will be very happy with that. I think I haven't run it by them, but I imagine most of them would go, awesome, that's cool. I'm going to get beautiful kits. It's going to be awesome with my name, my brand, the whole story, everything. I'll get my sponsors on there. I assume there'll be some that'll say, no, I want to wear a t-shirt that's got this guy's face on it and it looks like this. Okay, well, so we're never going to find a one, that suits everyone 100%. But I think potentially that's one option where it's a feasible option where BLK hopefully will go, cool, they're happy to commit that product, the product. We are. And the athletes are happy to, because they get awesome product, they get a whole kit, and they get to have their sponsors on there as well. And it doesn't cost a BLK $10 million a year like a Reebok in order to pay all of the athletes, but we don't need to because the athletes are still getting their own sponsorship. So potentially that's a middle one that we're looking at. But yeah, I think that's a work in progress. We'll obviously engage with the athletes and see what the situation is and go from there.
Okay. Fantastic. So everyone can calm down. You can still have your sponsors and everything is being considered, all factors. The next one I wanted to ask, Cairo, was at the last card, we went over to EFCWorldwideTV.com and were met by a sign up for 30 days free and $4.99 per month. Talk us through what's going on there.
Cool. Yeah. So it's been in the works for years, Al. We've always wanted our own direct-to-consumer product. We actually haven't done the past for numerous broadcast partnerships anyway, but we're at the point now where this is really where the world's going, obviously. And yeah, we're really excited. We spent a lot of time finding the right company, the right tech in the background that works really well, works on all different devices, different payment methods, blah, blah, all that type of stuff. We launched it, like you said, right before this last event. It was very much a soft launch, so to speak, but a lot more is coming on that. We're currently populating the system with a big archive of our old bouts, a whole bunch of information on there. So the product's not, I wouldn't say not ready yet, but it's still getting populated and a lot is being added to it. What we're excited about it, one is obviously the streaming potential and just making it more accessible to more fans, because yes, we're on TV everywhere and we keep trying to make ourselves more available to more people, but a lot of people aren't in front of a TV and just want to watch it on their phone or their laptop or wherever they are. So we're making that a possibility for them. We want to have all of our content streamed on there. So every press conference, anything we do is just going out on there live and available for anyone to watch. And what we also really like about it is we're building up the value to add to our owners, the investors that have come through on Stack. So we're going to be saying to the owners, going, hey, you're a shareholder in EFC, you get free access to EFC TV, and you get free XYZ. So we're hoping to do something with BLK and the clothing, and we have a whole bunch of stuff. So we're really looking to add value to our ownership pool as well, which we're quite excited about.
Okay. I see where you're headed, that it's all going to become incorporated to those of us who have bought some shares, which is what I wanted to ask you about as well. What is the status of the shares? And why I ask, Cairo, it's been quite funny. Like, I mean, obviously there's those kind of fans who close the eyes, swipe the card. I want to help the sport. I have an opportunity to do that. And then there's those who are a little bit skeptical, and the guys that are kind of saying, well, how are you justifying this 48% return? Who is Stack Assets and those kind of things? What's going on? So what I want to ask is to the positives and those guys who are kind of like closed their eyes, swiped their card and got involved, and those who are quite skeptical of the whole sale of shares. What is your response to both sides of those coins?
Yeah, look, the uptake's been awesome. And, when we launched it, when we first spoke, first spoke about it, whenever that was, May, I think, we chatted. We were literally just announced it. It was just coming out. The uptake was really good then. And like you said, in the beginning, we hadn't even published financial projections or anything on there, or it was very much just, hey, here's EFC, here's high level, and we had people like yourself and a whole bunch of people getting involved, which was awesome. And I think those were very much people wanting to support the sport. There were a lot of people who weren't traditional MMA fans at all. People we'd never heard of on there coming in for some big investments as well, which was cool. So but I think they were looking at it from, okay, UFC's worth X, ONE FC's worth X, or what can EFC be worth? What's the African market worth? So we had a really good uptake. Then we released our prospectus. Have you seen that, Al? Have you seen the prospectus?
No, I haven't.
I'll get that sent through. But basically, we put out a document, like more detailed document, what's the growth strategy, what's the plan, like X amount of pages, I can't remember. And since that's come out also, then that's picked up quite a bit of interest, because a lot of people were inquiring, saying, okay, I'm interested, but I need more information. What's the financial forecast? What are we looking at? So then that information came out afterwards. And since then, we've also had some pickup of investment. But yeah, it's been good. In the beginning, as with anything new, I was like checking my phone every 10 minutes, seeing every time someone bought a share, And then I did that for 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I can't keep staring at my phone. I said, I'm going to check this thing once a month. I don't want to know. Otherwise, it's just like kills my time. So I'm checking it once a month now, which is cool, better. But yeah, it's been going nicely. I think just the general hype around MMA in Africa is continuing to grow. Stuff like Duke is doing well. The fact that we've managed to get our shows up and running again. We've had 3 successful shows, since May. The 3? What are we on now? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And then, and again, we also, we did the show now in the third wave. We showed that EFC didn't get closed down, that we continue to operate. If you're an investor, and you go, geez, should I invest in this business? What happens with the third wave? Is it going to stop? What happens the fourth wave, the fifth wave? I should wait until after COVID to invest. So it was important from our point of view to deliver the show, to get it done, to continue, to not stop operating. And I think all of that lends more positivity, more confidence to an investor to go, okay, the show goes on. If you found a way, everyone's making it work. It's COVID, that's as bad as it's going to get, or is, and they still continue going on. So all of those things help. Stuff like this BLK deal, the deals are starting to come through now, which is awesome. We signed the Spartacus student, we signed BLK. We've got a whole bunch more that are coming out, a bunch of new broadcast deals that we've done. So all of that is, if I'm an investor looking in, I'm going, okay, geez, things are going in the right direction. Sure. Things are climbing. They're going. Sure, some investor might go, how are we going to get our money back? What's the return? What's the prospects? EFC's still in COVID. There's no fans. There's all those elements to it. And sure, 100%. Investing in a business, in any business, there are many factors to look at. There's a risk appetite. You have asset-rich company where you're investing in your own lots of properties or something. It's a different type of business, but it's a very, in my opinion, strong brand. It's been around for 11 years. It's got a very good market share. It's got a strategy. It's got a proven track record. It's got a very executable growth strategy that can be very lucrative. So, yeah, I'm investing in the business. I've got lots of money in there. So I obviously believe in it. It's easy for me to say. But yeah, I think, for someone who's on the fence or not sure about it, yeah, I don't know. I think if they believe in one, they should just look at it high level. It's the sport of MMA. Do they think the sport of MMA is going to continue going, or is it going to phase out? And specifically in Africa, well, I think it's just only going to much bigger from here, but that's me. But if someone doesn't believe that, if they think it's going to die off tomorrow, obviously don't touch it. And do they think of just Africa and media rights for sport in general? Because that's, yes, we're in the sport of MMA, but we're in the media business. And I think, do people believe in good content gathering more momentum and getting more valuable in this marketplace? And as more people become connected to fiber in Africa and more people become more active digitally, again, I see that as a no-brainer, that we're in a great position to do well with that and to grow. So people, I think it's just like with any business, when you're investing in it, you got to look at the macro and microeconomic factors and go, geez, do I think, is this a sound idea? Is this going to work, medium term? And if the answers there are yes, then I would say give it a try. But if they're not sure about it, then I would say find something that they are sure about.
If there's such a thing. Cairo, you mentioned quite a few things there. And obviously, what I wanted to point out in all of that, new deals, going through all the hard yards now with COVID and all those kind of things, it's I think from anybody looking to invest or buy shares, or especially in the EFC right now, those are all signs of confidence, and you're stamping your foot, you're digging in your heels and saying times are not easy. It's very difficult out here, but we're still here and we're still finding new ways to develop and to grow and to keep the show going and to keep MMA alive. With that being said, again, going back to the way, like, I felt personally as a fan of the last event and a lot of the stuff we were getting a lot of feedback. Obviously, the card ended quickly. A lot of talk about mismatches and those kind of things. What do you say about that card? And what were your thoughts on the last card? Do you think that's it's a hard question to ask. Like, is that the right representation of EFC? Do you think perhaps there were things that maybe didn't go your way, or do you think people are overreacting and the card was actually pretty good?
I think, it's always easy in retrospect. Leading into it, no one was saying there were mismatched fights. Everyone was excited about it. So, you're not always going to get a card with all the big names on. With this in the sport, it's also about who's available at that time and what opponents are available. All that stuff that Did that card end up delivering? No, I don't think it did. Was that the best product that EFC's put out? No, I definitely don't think it is. So we've definitely done a lot better. And is there room for improvement? For sure, definitely. So it's something that we're not taking easily. All of those broadcast deals that we've got, everything we do, all the content we create, if we don't have good fights, it all means nothing. In the end, we've got to put on awesome bouts with exciting athletes, exciting matchups. They need to deliver exciting fights. Otherwise, everything else we've got is kind of like fluff. All the other stuff that we have amplifies those fights, amplifies those athletes. So we need them to deliver. We need the good athletes. We need the good fights, and we need them to put on. We need them to put on good shows. Our last event, some people are like, "Oh, it was awesome, nice, quick fights." Okay, so some people like that, but me personally, I was hoping for more. I don't think it was the best performances all around, and even, everything through to our television product was not as slick as it normally is. We had, with the COVID situation we're dealing with, we had everything from our director dropping off the night before through to numerous members of our crew. It was a very difficult show to produce, but we got it done, and
sure.
and we certainly learned a lot. I think even the athletes, people can go, everyone's got a lot to say, but these guys are training in the midst of this COVID wave and trying to get it done, and everyone's in a difficult situation. It's not a normal situation. So you don't want to be hard on anyone and say, they didn't. Oh, what are they doing? So I think it was. But to answer your question, no, it wasn't our best product overall from a fight point of view. And it's certainly something that we are heavily focused on. We're not thinking that that's not our benchmark, put it that way, Al. Our benchmark is much higher. We're striving for a lot more. We want to deliver the best fights. We want to deliver the best platform. And we want to make sure every single show we put on is, better than the last one if we can.
Sure. I think that's a massively important factor amidst the chaos of COVID. It's nothing's ever really going to be easy. And more importantly, I don't think anything actually really ever goes to plan. It's a lot of on the fly kind of manipulating and maneuvering. So it's very difficult at the moment.
It's hard. That last show was it was very difficult. And from the athletes to everyone, it was like there's so much extra stress involved with that COVID situation that I would say maybe give a bit of leeway, but that's just my opinion. The same when you look at the rugby coming up, they don't have half the players are going to be off there and the rest of it. It's just not, you just don't have the options available that you always do in normal circumstances.
Sure. With that in mind, Cairo, the last thing I want to ask you, we've reached such a nice point. It's been, from my perspective, it's been really exciting to watch how you guys manipulate this new age or new COVID era, I want to call it, and it's been exciting. We've seen new sponsors, we've seen new things happening, and it always, like I say, it builds confidence with everybody. The last card aside, it's been interesting to see how everything's been happening, how athletes have been training, how they've been getting ready, how the shows have been done, and all these kind of things. What can you tell us for the rest of the year? I know you like to keep secrets very close to you, but what can we expect, or what are the exciting things to keep an eye out for going forward for the rest of the year for the EFC?
Like we're talking about now, certainly the best fights possible. We really want to put on massive crowd pleasers. The fights that everyone talks about, for months afterwards. So that's a one big focus, is just really getting that 100%. The second part is this distribution. It's very interesting. The EFC, our TV product, our online TV product, we're excited to build that out and to offer more in there. Like I mentioned, offering more to the EFC owners, giving them free access to that, giving them more perks, more benefits, more voting on fights, all that type of stuff that we want to do. Just the stuff will take time and resources, but we're getting there. We've got a plan and we're getting it executed. So we really want to see that offering flesh out more from an ownership point of view, and make that really exciting and enticing. So potentially the guys who are on the fence are going, oh, why should I invest in EFC? We go, well, hey man, invest in EFC, you get free streaming, you get X, Y, Z. It's awesome. Why wouldn't you? Plus you own the shares. So we want to make it a no-brainer, if that makes sense for people. And then we're launching some more digital distribution as well on different telcos. So we're actually in presentation to a whole bunch of telcos across Africa and actually even in Europe, all over the place at the moment. So we're building a telco, what is the word, offering, but a telco direct-to-consumer offering for our content as well. So again, it's just another way to get more people accessing our content and available to more people, which we're quite excited about. It's been in the works for quite a long time. We've got quite a few more partnership deals that we're working on, so I can't name them yet, but I'm hoping soon we can put some names out, which will be awesome. Some really big ones, which we're pushing hard on. And then we've got some, those are I mean, there's a bunch of stuff we're working on in the background, but I think that's probably what I can tell you for now. But I think our main focus is really just making our product as good as it can be. Obviously we've got the distribution and the television and all that side of it, but if we want to have amazing fights that people talk about and people are excited to watch, and then everything else kind of follows on after that.
Fantastic. Cairo, as always, enlightening, exciting. I thank you very much for your time, and we will see you at EFC 88 on the 14th of August. Stay safe.
Awesome.
You have to avoid COVID and looters now, so please be careful out there, people. Fantastic. Thank you, Cairo. Very exciting. Chat to you soon.
Good to. Cheers, man. Bye.
Ciao, bye.